Hi, welcome back. And so now I'm on to mixing my peroxide and bleach. And so I measured my bleach. I'm using a scoop and I'm using a blue base, which is going to cancel out the orange. Because on hair this dark, there is a lot of underlying orange pigment. And also because her hair is really dark, I'm using the 40 volume. And I've used 40 volume before and it's totally fine and it's nothing to fear as long as you do a proper application. So it's a 2-to-1 ratio, 2 ounces of the 40 volume mixed with 1 scoop of the blue-based bleach. And I'm just gonna mix it. And it's like mixing like a cake mix. You have to make sure that there is no lumps or granules that are left when you're mixing the bleach, because if you do, it's like taking a baking a cake and not fully like making it smooth, and you know how the lumps are settled in the bottom, and then you put the cake in the oven and you know how the bottom or the crust gets burned. That's how hair bleach is. And so you have to really stir it and really make sure that it's nice and lump and bump free and it's a creamy consistency. And so my bleach is really nice and moist. And now we're ready to do the highlights. So I'm starting with her mohawk section, and I know I traditionally start with the back and the sides, but because I'm gradually highlighting her hair and this is a partial, why not change it up and why not start with the mohawk section? So see, I'm grabbing a thin section of hair and I'm taking my foil and I'm leaving the comb in place because really want to get it close to the root. And I take my lightener, barely anything, and I saturate it really nicely. And we could let these two sections of hair down. I could always go back and highlight them later. And we're just gonna saturate it. And you have to really dig with the brush. So important that you dig. And on longer hair, you do an S shape. You just dig and you dig. Fully saturate the hair. And you feather it on top so it doesn't grow, so when the person's hair grows out, it doesn't grow out into this really harsh stripe. Okay, so we got her hair nice and saturated. And we let the comb go. The foil is nice and secure. And we fold it. And now we're ready for our next one. Very important that you fold the foils into those nice little candy bars. So let's see how much foils we can get done in the next 10 minutes. Oh. And do you see how I barely took anything on my brush? I just did a dip and I slide it. That's how what you want. You don't ever like put globs of bleach on the foil because that's what causes the bleach to swell and that's what causes the bleed marks. So very important. So even saturation just means that you dig the bleach with the brush, saturating every strand. It doesn't mean putting puddles of bleach. And I'm just feathering it on nice and lightly like this, making sure that it's close to the root and that each strand is saturated. To make my working area compact, I'm just going to fold the foil and create a really nice candy bar ready for the next section. Okay, so we can clean that up a little. Okay, so this is my next section. Holding the comb in place so there is no slippage, I take my brush, barely anything, and just refeather on the product. And for longer hair, you could do the S shape like this. Fully saturating, fully set. Okay. Making a little nice candy bar. And the platinum card is just slicing with no hair in between, which is what we're doing to give her a nice blonde effect on top. To make the pieces of blonde really bold and really stand out. So I'm making a clean parting with my comb. Onto my next foil. And I chose the see-through foils because with the see-through foils, I could see the progress and how the hair is lifting. It takes a lot of like the guesswork out. And you see how I'm just feathering it on. And you see how I'm, with the brush, do you see how I'm just vertically doing like this? That's what you want to make sure that the hair is nicely saturated. And it saves you the product, and it's a win-win. And you just like this. Okay, now I gotta saturate the ends, and honestly, the only way I like to do blonde is through highlights because you're in control. And you know what to expect. It's not like just a straight out bleach out where you just glop on the bleach, and it leaves little room for error. At least with the highlights, you're in control, and you can place the blonde where you want it. And you're taking individual strands of hair, so it's like you're in control. You could add as much or as little blonde as you want. And that's what I love about like creating blondes with the highlights and with the foils. Okay, it's time to fold the foil. And we just do this. We take the comb out. You see how it's staying nice and flush? And we're just wrapping it. And we're ready for our next section. This belongs to this hair right here. Okay, so I'm halfway there with the top section. Stay tuned.